from long distance, lifting it into the corner. Absolutely brilliant from Balo.
He was born to a country that just did not know what to do with him. August 12, 1990. Palermo, Sicily. A Ghanaian child delivered into Italy. A child named Mario Balotelli, who would one day carry on those same broad shoulders the weight of a nation's expectations, its prejudices, its admiration, its rage. His parents, Thomas and Rose Balotelli, had emigrated from Ghana with almost nothing. When life was too difficult to hold together, they placed their son in foster care. It was not abandonment for abandonment's sake. Mario had been seriously ill as a small child, a condition his biological family just could not afford to have treated. The Balotelli family of Brescia, Silvia and Francesco, came forward. They took him in, gave him their name, gave him their love. When he became old enough to know the choice his parents had made, he chose not to return to them. He has spoken of that wound carefully, very rarely, but it is there underneath it all. Growing up in Brescia, a white industrial city in northern Italy, Mario Balotelli was conspicuous even before he was talented. Racism was not abstract for him. It was the voice from the stands, the slur in the schoolyard, the double take at the passport. He joined Lumezzane's youth academy at the age of 11. By 15, the coaches could not keep him out of the senior squad. On April 2, 2006, he made his professional debut in the Italian Professional League in the 3rd Division, Serie C1. He had a trial at Barcelona the same year. They passed. It is the type of decision which doesn't age well. Inter Milan was keeping an eye out. They moved for him in 2006 and made the purchase complete in June 2007 for a total of €340,000 as a fee. Roberto Mancini was the one who opened the door. On December 16, 2007, a 17-year-old substitute ran out onto the San Siro. 3 days later, in a Coppa Italia match against Regina, he scored 2 goals. In 2007 to 2008, he made 11 appearances for the Italian top team, Serie A, and scored 3 goals as they won the title. The ground hummed with something it could not name. 2008 to 2009 focused the wider world's attention. Against Anorthosis Famagusta in the Champions League, he became the youngest Inter player in the history of the competition to score at the age of 18 years and 85 days. 20 games played in the Serie A that season, 7 goals. Inter retained the title. Then there was Jose Mourinho, and everything curdled. 2 powerful personalities, one a chess grandmaster of manipulation, one a raw and combustible force of nature, collided like tectonic plates. Fines, suspensions, and a dressing room war. In March 2010, Balotelli showed up to an event at the Inter Press wearing an AC Milan shirt. The Inter fans wanted blood. And yet, in 2009 to 10, he scored 9 goals in 26 games in the Serie A as Inter won a historic treble: the Serie A, the Coppa Italia, and the Champions League of the UEFA. Mourinho left him out of the Madrid final. Some absences speak for themselves. In a total of 3 seasons at Inter, 86 games and 28 goals. Then came a call from Mancini, who was now at Manchester City. On his 20th birthday, August 13, 2010, Mario Balotelli joined Manchester City for £22.5 million. He scored his debut goal for the Europa League against Timisoara. He was also sent off in the return leg. In those 2 moments, the next 3 years were already written. 2010 to 11 was his first season, with 17 Premier League appearances and 6 goals. He was nominated Man of the Match in the FA Cup final when City beat Stoke 1-0, their first big trophy in 35 years. In December, he won the Golden Boy Award, a prize for Europe's best young footballer, and named only Lionel Messi as his superior. The English tabloids did not know whether to worship him or to make fun of him, and usually managed both at once. Then came 2011-12, and everything. 23 Premier League games, 13 goals, a hat-trick over Aston Villa. He was given his fourth red card of the season in April, and Mancini made a public statement that he would take no further part in the run-in. Then came May 13, 2012. Manchester City versus QPR. Last day of the season. City needed to win. At 2-1 down in added time, Balotelli came on as a substitute. He touched the ball once in any meaningful way, a scuffed pass into the path of Sergio Aguero. Aguero struck it. Commentator Martin Tyler let out a scream. The Etihad erupted. Manchester City won their first title in the league since 1968. Mario Balotelli had given the assist that changed their history. He did it as a man who was told he had no part to play. It was, in its way, the most Mario Balotelli thing that has ever happened.
In 2012-13, he managed to start in just 14 games in the Premier League and scored 1 goal. A training ground brawl with Mancini, said to have been physical, was the last straw. In January of 2013, he signed for AC Milan. His 80 appearances across all competitions at City had yielded 30 goals and 2 trophies. But the story of his time in Manchester was always bigger than a ledger of wins and losses. The homecoming to Italy was electric. February 3rd, 2013. Debut against Udinese, 2 goals, 2-1 last minute. In his next 2 games, he again scored. 12 goals in just 13 appearances in the Serie A that first half season. The best football of his life in a glowing, contained explosion. The following year, there were 14 additional goals in 30 games of the league. He scored a free kick against Livorno that was clocked in at 109 kilometers per hour. He was the baseball player he had always promised to be. In May 2013, when Milan met Roma, the racist chanting caused the play to be suspended. Balotelli stood in the center circle, made of inside, burned on the outside. He had been dealing with this his whole life. The match was paused. The abuse did not stop. His Italian career had a burden off the pitch from the start. On August 10, 2010, he became the first black player to wear the Azzurri shirt in a senior international. The symbolism was enormous. At Euro 2012, in the semi-final game against Germany, he scored twice. 2 headers, cold and precise, under the pressure that would have buckled most players. He ripped off his shirt and roared in the sky. The image became one of the defining images of that summer. Italy lost the last 4-0 to Spain, but Balotelli was named in the team of the tournament. Whether the noise around his career in Italy or not, he ended up with 36 caps and 14 goals, a record that demands respect. Then, Liverpool paid $16 million and the light went out. 28 appearances in all competitions in 2014-15. 4 goals in total. Only 1 in the Premier League. Brendan Rodgers was unable to find a way to use him, or couldn't find a way to motivate him, or perhaps both men were just wrong for each other in a way that no transfer could have predicted. He was loaned back to Milan in 2015-16, where a groin injury robbed him of 3 months, and he scored once in 14 games in the league. By 2016, he was a free agent. The obituaries were already being written. He did not cooperate with the narrative. OGC Nice signed him, and he immediately lit up League One. 6 goals in his first 6 league games, Nice top of the table through autumn 2016.
Patrick Vieira had eventually replaced Lucien Favre and reportedly reached his limit with Balotelli's late arrivals and poor conditioning. But before that relationship broke down, Balotelli had already had something remarkable. In 2018-19, 18 goals in the League One from 26 appearances, a career high for goals in a single league season. He was called back into the Italy squad for the first time since the 2014 World Cup. It was a feeling of vindication, and it was. November 3rd, 2019, Brescia versus Hellas Verona. He had come home, his city, his streets, the club which had won promotion to the Serie A. He was supposed to be the hero of a return story. Early in the second half, he stopped. He picked up the ball. He turned around and kicked into the crowd a corner of the stadium hard. The crowd had been calling monkey chants at him for the better part of an hour. The referee suspended the match. The protocol against racism was invoked. His teammates talked him into staying. The Verona club refused to hear anything. Balotelli posted to Instagram afterwards, not a statement of rage, but footage of his charity work, and then a quiet message thanking those who showed solidarity and condemning those who denied the evidence. It was the moment that made clear, in perhaps no other way than a goal or trophy, what exactly he had been carrying his entire career. The boy from Brescia, born in Palermo, raised on Ghanaian blood and Italian love, had spent 20 years being told he did not quite belong. In dressing rooms, in stadiums, in a country that put his face on the shirt and then chanted at him from the stands. What happened next was a long, slow trudge. Monza in the Italian second division, Adana Demirspor in Turkey, FC Sion in Switzerland, back to Adana. A short stint at Genoa in the late 2024. 6 appearances from bench, no goals. By January of 2025, a free agent again, training solo and keeping in shape with Muay Thai. On January 13th, 2026, at the age of 35, he signed a 2.5-year contract with Al Ittifaq FC in Dubai, his 14th club in an 18-year career. Even that couldn't exactly be easy. With flights grounded because of regional instability in the Middle East, he ended up in Italy, back with Chievo Verona, a bankrupt club reborn in the amateur divisions and sharing a pitch with Douglas Costa and Alberto Paloschi, while the world outside sorted itself out. Still refusing to stop, still refusing to go quietly. There is a version of him that the headlines were rarely bothered to cover. The man who paid for the completion of a secondary school in Kue Machar, South Sudan. Children there had weapons instead of textbooks. Balotelli changed that. A wing of the school is named after him. He had supported Casa del Sole Onlus, a non-profit group providing rehabilitation for children in Italy. By the numbers, 375 club appearances, 153 goals, 10 major trophies, 3 Serie A titles, a Champions League, a Premier League, an FA Cup, 36 caps for Italy, 14 international goals, the Golden Boy Award, the UEFA Euro Team of the tournament, the Serie A Team of the Year. Incomplete numbers, the way numbers always are incomplete when the subject is a human being. Roberto Mancini, who loved him like a difficult son, once said, "The problem is, because of his age, he can make some mistakes. He's Mario, he's crazy, but he's a good guy, so I love him." He was born into a country that did not quite know what to make of him, and he never made it easy for them. He scored the goals, he won the trophies, he made the errors in the open eyes of the world. When the noise got cruel, he was standing by himself. He refused to shrink. And when the boots finally come off for the last time, what will be left won't just be the medals or the headlines, but the moments that forced football to feel something, Because Mario Balotelli is never in the background. He was impactful, he was tense, he was unforgettable.